welcome to part 54 of my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. Today we will try to finish Chapter 18, Tenure as Archbishop of Washington, 2001 to 2006. Now, Cardinal McCarrick is making a big splash in his role as Washington, D.C.'s Archbishop, and seems to be enjoying his extra fame and many international travels tremendously. Speaking of his travels, McCarrick made sure to keep writing reports for the Holy See, whether the trips were part of a Vatican directive or not. McCarrick seemed to prod and nudge his way into several international matters of concern to the Holy See, even if he was not originally asked to be a part of it. The report states, McCarrick occasionally requested and received indications from Holy See officials related to sensitive international matters and his interactions with prominent figures in the United States and overseas, including in the Middle East and China. Reply letters from the nuncio or officials in the Roman Curia acknowledged and expressed appreciation for McCarrick's efforts. So whether invited or not, McCarrick was part of the game. In 2001, the Bush administration asked McCarrick to work with an influential consultant in developing improved relations with the Holy See. McCarrick enthusiastically took on this responsibility, calling it the China Project. He succeeded in bringing Holy See relations with China onto the agenda of President Bush, and Holy See officials expressed gratitude for McCarrick's success here, even while at the same time expressing some skepticism of the manner in which McCarrick was doing it, that is, with the involvement of a private party, consultant number one. In February 2002, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Soldano was quoted as saying, "The Holy See welcomes whatever your eminence can do in your conversations with political figures and authorities of the U.S., or in the context of the Chinese contacts you may have, in order to clarify various aspects of the entire matter in hand, and to favor the commencement of more substantive talks between the People's Republic of China and the Holy See on the normalization of their bilateral relations." This was not a blank check, though. McCarrick was requested to present himself as Archbishop of Washington and not as a cardinal, since a cardinal, quote, enjoys a special relationship to the person of the Holy Father, unquote. But Cardinal Soldano also expressed willingness to leave that to McCarrick's prudent judgment to make whatever decision he considered most opportune. Naturally, McCarrick provided regular reports of his China-related activities to the Secretariat of State through the Apostolic Nuncio, and he was continually thanked for both his information and his observations. The Secretariat of State seemed content to allow McCarrick a great deal of latitude and use of his own judgment in the delicate situation. Consultant 1 was able to find Catholic businessmen in the U.S. to pay for McCarrick's travel and lodging expenses, including trips in 2003 and 2005. He met with officials of the Chinese government, the Communist Party, and armed forces, as well as religious leaders, priests, and professors. McCarrick provided reports to both Pope John Paul II and Pope Benedict XVI, and also briefed United States officials, both in Washington, D.C., and at the embassy in Beijing. Despite McCarrick's initial enthusiasm at the prospect of establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the Holy See, by 2005 he realized his efforts, although very interesting, ultimately appeared to have not yielded concrete results. And that concludes Chapter 18 of the McCarrick Report. It started out with a bang, but has ended with a little sizzle. McCarrick is busy as ever, but he has not achieved the dramatic success he surely hoped to achieve with his high-stakes international dealings. Now we can take steps to prevent disappointment for ourselves and others by asking God's forgiveness and gift of salvation as we recite the Fatima prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.